Homework of lesson 5. So let's start writing here, homework. And then if I recall question number 1 of lesson 5, the homework, we have called this angle here to be angle A, angle B, and angle C. And the interior angles, 23 degrees interior, angle B, 134 degrees, obtuse angle, and then angle C was X that we need to determine. Then we're going to start with our layout statement and reason. Then one of the properties of a triangle, where we're going to start saying, but angle A plus angle B plus angle C equal to be 180 degrees. Therefore, the sum of the angles interior of a triangle equal to be 180 degrees. If I substitute, I'm going to have 23 for angle A degrees plus angle B 134 degrees plus angle C X equals to be 180 degrees. Then 23 plus 134 leaves me with 157 degrees plus the X equals to be 180 degrees. Taking the 157 across, we're going to have X equal to be 180 degrees minus 157 degrees. So therefore X will be an answer of 23 degrees. And if I substitute it into my answer, equals to be 23 degrees, I see that the angles, two angles, are the same. And then I just leave the question with you. What kind of a triangle am I referring then to? The next triangle I would like to talk about, also one of the properties of a triangle, going to be the exterior angle of a triangle. So I just would like to write the name here, exterior. The exterior angle. Now, where will we find the exterior angle? Now, you can get it on a couple of places, but let's start with the most common place. Exterior means it's not inside the triangle. So if I'm going to call this one, for example, X, and I'm going to call that angle there to be Y, that one I would like to call A, and that one interior I would like to call B. You can call it anything you like. I'm just going to use these symbols. So these ones, X, A, and B, they are all interior. They're inside the triangle. But then we're going to get the one exterior. That's that guy down there, the angle outside the triangle. And the property of that one going to be, now let's write the property down. Now you remember still, it is statement reason. So if I'm going to make a statement by saying that the exterior angle y, then the property of the triangle continue that the exterior equals to the opposite interior angles, the opposite interior angles. So therefore I'm going to have then exterior y equals to the opposite interior a plus b, and we're just referring to that one as exterior angle of a triangle, and that's going to be my reason. Now yes, I understand if we just look at exterior, where else can I find exterior angles? So if I just gonna make quickly another sketch down there, if I can do that quickly down there, yes, I can also find an exterior angle down there. And yes, I can find another place, an exterior angle, if I can just make the picture down there and I extend it down there. There I can also find an exterior. That's just to show you that yes, you can find exterior angles any other places as well. But this is the priority of the triangle I would like us to remember as we're going to go forward into the next calculations. Let's now do an example of that property of a triangle, the exterior angle. So let's write down here example 1. Now, as I have mentioned before, you can really get the exterior angle on different places. So I'm going to apply the exterior angle down there, and I'm going to refer to that one as 120 degrees. Then the interior angle, I'm going to refer to that one as y, and then this angle perhaps something like 50 degrees. I'm going to call that one angle A, angle B, C, and that extension I'm going to call it angle D. So if I'm going to go over now, I'm going to start again by my statement. Reason. And now the property. I'm going to say that angle C equals to be the opposite interior. The sum of the opposite interior means down there the opposite of the exterior angle, where I'm going to have then angle A plus angle B. And I'm just going to refer to it. Remember, exterior angle, exterior angles of a triangle. Now I'm going to substitute my information. Angle C, exterior, 120 degrees, equals to A, and I see that A is the wanted one, Y, plus angle B, interior, to be 50 degrees. Then I'm going to take the 50 degrees from the right hand side to the left hand side. So I'm going to end up with 120 degrees minus 50 degrees equals to Y. And when I'm going to subtract that value, it's going to leave me with an answer of 70 degrees. And there I have determined the value of Y that was expected from me to determine by using the property exterior angle of a triangle. Example 2. This time I'm going to give a little bit of different information. This time, let's call this one angle A, B, angle C, and D. And perhaps I'm going to refer to it as an isosceles triangle this time, where this angle going to be 40 degrees. Perhaps call that one there to be X. This exterior angle perhaps to be Y. Now guys, because I'm having now in angle C more than one angle, I have to start specify the particular angle I'm dealing with. So I would like to call this one then angle C1, and then this one here angle C2 in that particular case down. So I'm having two angles for angle C. I have to identify which angle I am referring to. Now let's first look at the diagram. We always have to learn our diagram. I do see that this is an isosceles triangle. And I do know that the base angles of the isosceles triangle are always then to be the same. So if that one is 40, then I can substitute a value then also in here of 40 degrees. I take my pencil and I update my graph. Statement. Reason. Only when I understand my diagram and I filled in all the hidden information. Now I'm going to go over to my table. So I'm going to put the first one down where I'm going to say now that angle C2 is the same as angle B is the same as equal to 40 degrees. And my reason for that, now keep in mind we do not refer to base angles, but the angles are equal angles at the base. So therefore I'm going to refer to it angles opposite. Opposite of what? Opposite of the sides, equal to the sides, because the sides are equal and the angles are opposite. Opposite angles equal sides. And when I have that, I'm going to rule it off because I have discovered a very important statement down there. Now if I continue to the next part, I'm going to say inside angles for the x, I'm going to say that angle A plus angle B plus, and now I have to specify angle C2 must be equal to 180 degrees. The sum of the angles interior of a triangle equals to 180 degrees. I'm substituting now. Angle A is the x plus B, because of that equal opposite angles the same, opposite the sides, 40 degrees, plus angle C2 also to be 40 degrees equals to be 180. 40 plus 40 is going to give me 80. Take the 80 to the right hand side minus, it looks to me that angle x or value x going to become 100 degrees. I do have that answer and I draw a line. We gotta get used to the information. As soon as I have determined information, I show it on my diagram. That angle there going to be 100 degrees then. Now I would like to find y. Now I'm going to go for the other property of a triangle, that the exterior. So if that is then correct, I'm going to say now that angle C1 is equal to angle A plus angle B. And the reason, exterior angle of a triangle. So therefore, angle C is y, C1, equals to x, which I have determined before, which is angle A to be 100 degrees, plus angle B, the base angles, equal angles, equal sides, 40 degrees. Therefore, I'm going to have that y going to give me a value of the exterior of 140 degrees. Example 3. This time the information I would like to give you on the diagram is going to look a little bit different. Let's start calling it again angle A, B, C. I see that we have two angles, so I'm going to start immediately by calling that angle 1, angle 2, and that one D. I'm going to start writing statement, reason. Now for my information, that's going to be a different this time. I would like to call it this time here to be x plus 20 degrees. This one here, I would like to, that's that angle, interior. Then this time I would like to call the exterior here to be x plus 40 degrees. And then this interior, this side here, let's see if I can fit it, 2x plus 10 degrees for that one down there. You see the information is a little bit different. Now this time, determine x. That's what I need to determine in this particular case. Right, here we go. I would like to start again by one of the properties, the exterior. So I'm going to say that angle C1 must be then the same as angle A plus angle B. The exterior, opposite, interior, the sum of the opposite interior. And then I'm going to refer to it as the angles, sum of the angles in a triangle, Now I'm going to do my substitution, where I'm going to have C1 is x plus 40 degrees equals to A, given to me, x plus 20 degrees. B is plus 2x plus 10 degrees. Now on the left, I'm going to have x plus 40 degrees on the right. Now let's first add likewise terms. I'm having a x plus 2x, going to give me a total then of 3x. Then the degrees, 20 plus 10, going to leave me with plus 30 degrees. I would like to bring the x to the right hand side so that I'm going to have 3x As the x comes over, remember in front of it is a 1, minus 1x. At the same time, I'm going to take the 30 degrees to the left-hand side, so that I'm going to have 40 degrees minus 30 degrees. So 40 minus 30 degrees is going to leave me with 10 degrees equals to 3x minus 1x equal to 2x. And then I'm going to start with the old favorite divide on the right. What I do on the right hand side, I must then also do on the left hand side. That means I'm going to be left 10 divide 2 is going to give me 5 degrees, and that's going to give me the value of x, which they have asked me in the beginning to determine. Example 4. Let's say we're going to give information like this. Let's call this angle here A, and B, C, and D. Now, because I'm having two angles in A, I would like to call that one 1, that one 2. Because I'm having two angles in C, I would like to call that one 1 and 2. Given information. Let's say that the triangle on the right hand side going to be an isosceles triangle, and perhaps let's call angle B 20 degrees, and let's say I would like to call that angle A2 to be Y, and let's say angle A1 to be X. In this particular case, X and Y. Now, let's say I must determine let's say I must determine X and Y. So I'm going to start by saying statement and reason. For these ones, now guys, let's start. I love the idea. I really like the idea to grab my pencil and I'm just going to have fun on the graph. I see now that this triangle A, B, C, isosceles. What do I know about the base angles? I know that the base angles got to be the same, 20 degrees. Equal angles because of the opposite equal sides. Now, if that one is 20, 20, if I look now at the exterior angle C2, I'm going to say that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the opposite interior. So 20 plus 20, that leaves that one then down there to be 40 degrees. And let's also given information, this one here, angle D to be 60 degrees, given information. Then if I look at the triangle on the left hand side, I'm going to say then that X is going to give me the 40 plus the 60 is 100. Total together interior, sum of the interior angles equals to 180. That means 180 total. It means that this guy here got to be then 80 degrees. Now look what I've just done. I was just playing and I only had fun on my diagram. Now I understand my diagram and it's much easier now to write all the information down. Where have I started? I've started with these base angles. So I'm going to say that angle B must be equal to angle A2 must be equal to Y must be equal to 20 degrees. How can I make that statement in that particular case? it is the angles opposite, which are going to be the same. Equal. Equal opposite of what? Opposite of the equal sides. Angles opposite of equal sides. Right, guys? And I got that one. Now, after I have that one, y. There is my y answer. I draw a line. I'm ruling off. Now I'm going to go for the next part, where I'm going to say, in triangle, I like to refer now, which triangle am I working with? I'm working now with triangle ADC. What's going to happen in that triangle ADC? I would like to make the statement now where I'm going to say now that angle C2 equals to, that's the exterior, is equals to the opposite interior, the sum of the opposite interior in triangle ACB in this case now. So C2, angle C2, must be then angle B plus angle A2. And that's going to give me exterior angle of a triangle. So therefore, if I substitute now, C2 is going to give me 20 degrees plus the one that I've just determined, 20 degrees for A2, and that's going to give me a value then of 40 degrees for C2. Now that I have the C2, I'm going to say the interior angles in triangle ACD. On the left, I'm going to have now angle A plus angle C2 plus angle D must be equal to 180 degrees. Why? The sum of the angles interior of a triangle equals to 180 degrees. Now I'm substituting. A is the wanted one, x, plus C2 I have determined C2 just now, where I've determined it to be 40 degrees. So I'm substituting. Plus D that was given to me, 60 degrees, equals to be 180. So I'm going to have x plus 40 plus 60 is going to give me 100 degrees, equal to be 180. Take the 100 across, x going to become then 180 degrees minus 100. So therefore x going to leave me with a value then of 80 degrees. Guys, this way of thinking becomes now quite important. But where have everything started? Everything have started by having fun, understand the information on the triangle, and then only after that I've started to put everything together. Now it is your chance to show me how it must be done. So let's call it homework. And let's call this one then question number 1. I would like to call this angle A, B, C, and D, where I would like to call this one 1, 2, 1, 2, with given information now to be 10 degrees. Let's call this one Y, this one to be X, and here 120 perhaps degrees, and then this one here to be 30 degrees. Now guys, the idea here is I need you to determine for me x and y. That's what you need to determine for me there, x and y. Let's go to question number 2. In question number 2, let's call this angle A, B, and C, where perhaps let's call this angle here 35 degrees. This one here x plus 10 degrees, and then this one here to be 70 degrees. And my question I want you to do here is determine for me the value of x. In question number 3, I want us to call this one A, B, and C. Perhaps this one to be 50 degrees, this one to be 60 degrees, and let's call that one to be y. Question number 4. In question number 4, perhaps I'm going to do this one a little bit different. Let's call this one to be an isosceles triangle. I'm calling this one then to be A, this one to be B, that one to be C, and the given information there 80 degrees, and I would like you to find for me y, the angle y. Question number 5. In question number 5, first of all I'm going to start by calling it is 90 degrees, a right angle triangle. Call that one angle A, B, and C. Where are you going to call that one to be x, that one to be 2x, and I want you to determine for me what will the value of x be. Question number 6. In question number 6, the outside, let's call it A, B, C, and D. I would like to call that angle 90 degrees as well as that angle there also to be 90 degrees. I also like to call that one, the outside triangle, to be an isosceles triangle in that particular case. I'm calling this angle then there 1, 2. And let's call this one also 1, 2. And I'm going to ask you now, if this is going to become y, I need you to determine y. Let's call that one then there to be x, and I'm going to call this one here to be 50 degrees, and I need you to determine for me x and y. What will those values be there? Guys, have fun, enjoy. Remember how I have done it. First I took my pencil, I've played on the diagram. Make sure you understand the diagram before you go into the table statement reasons. Enjoy. I'll see you later again. Thank you very much.